Wow, thank you.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool. So what are we doing? Choppy.
Yeah, choppy. Yes.
And then we're gonna
And then layers and
70s vibing. Late 70s vibing.
70s vibes.
Late 70s.
Please.
So we're going from
Let's-
the 60s vibing to late 70s vibing. And I love how there's like pieces longer and stuff.
I need more volume.
Yeah,
like
that's
70s.
cool. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Mhm.
Sweet. Cool.
But I've learned something about it. Not good ones. Would you like me to I'm going to say it anyway. Lin-Manuel Miranda was reading the book of Hamilton's. And he's like,
Yeah, that's good. He's not blind. He was like, Alexander Hamilton, that's not great. Major to it.
he was like, this should be rap. It's written like a rap.
Yeah, literally, that was it.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, it's okay. It's just one of my like pirate scenes.
Oh, that's totally valid.
Minecraft.
Me with also
It
Minecraft.
was really cool. It was right so playing.
Right.
Yeah. And they're like,
You're
yeah.
me. It's okay.
So I assume that it come from us.
Everything is on show.
Like,
I
hey,
love it.
you know,
I love the vibe.
also, oh my god, I can talk to you about something that you know lots about. John Swan Green.
Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah. Let's do that. We're gonna bow dry it big as well.
Okay.
Like a major.
Ooh.
And oh my god, I used to really like them.
You were like
Movie
hitting
style,
the
Hollywood.
spot
Yeah,
right now.
like
I was
red
like,
carpet.
yeah, I'm so
Come in, Nick.
glad.
Okay.
Please talk more about it.
I struggle a lot. Well, I love my YouTube dramas and things like that. Like I catch up with them. I don't ever read with them. Oh no, fuck no.
I struggle a lot. I can't. I think I can't do it.
And that's totally okay, but I was never, well, I used to be somebody who was really interested in information and then stole my brain, and so since being with Simon, it's the first time I've been able to like, engage in sort of knowledge and stuff again, and so seeing both sides of things.
Yeah.
It was really nice to meet you.
Really nice. I'd see you again.
Also, this is also the
Oh, the height. Right. I was looking at the ear again. I'm sorry.
No. Oh yes, the hair length as well.
I'm getting my Demonia boots. Like 4-inch, 5-inch Demonia.
It's okay. I'm gonna make my own.
See you. Have a good night.
Aww. That's really cool. Yeah, but you'll love them.
No, it's okay. Because I'll be like 5'6".
Oh yeah, I always think you're tall.
I know, people keep saying that. It's great.
I think it's because your personality is a tall person. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Like,
it makes perfect sense.
it doesn't sound right, but it
No,
does make
it
sense.
makes perfect sense and it brings me so much joy.
Yeah,
No, I'm 5'4".
yeah, and like that's pretty much like a foot taller than me, and I'm
love it, just
Yeah, me
About a
too.
foot taller than you.
So fun.
Oh,
It's a cool little space we ended up building up. We had to break rules here to get along in Wellington or New Zealand in general. Because this is the nation of a lot of little rules that have no consequence, right? It's just kind of funny.
Is it?
Well, yeah, there's
yeah,
apparently rules that are just like, really? So you have to break your own space to protect yourself from that
It's so
kind of
funny when people you're not
culture.
interested.
Yeah.
I like exude cool.
Also, quite funny because you and Brian are short and very like so tall.
I love New Zealand, they just, you know, I grew up differently.
Yeah.
And dirty, it was short.
They like to segregate their boys and girls into little boys' schools and girls' schools. It's
I know,
from one do as you're told.
It reminds me of
Yeah.
Toronto though. They just,
You know?
No, they don't. Toronto's general public high schools.
yeah, but then there's like the private
It's
schools.
so rare in Toronto. I don't know what you've heard, but you know what? That's a rarity. They do have them, but really, like 90% of the student population of Toronto go to general public schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like here, though.
I'm like a spot person.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very
I take some classes at the high school here. I did.
You did?
Yeah, like Wellington High.
Oh yeah, because that's actually really cool.
They have
Wellington
community
High.
classes. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool. That's like that's about what we have in Toronto, right?
It's like
That's cool.
artsy.
Yeah, that's- I would say Wellington High is the most equivalent to what we had when I grew up.
Oh, really?
And then the rest of it's just like, what kind is it from?
I mean, some of my friends went to, my mom went to BSS.
Yeah.
That?
No, there's that.
It's in Toronto, like near Eglinton, that area.
Is that, what's it called? What's the full name of it?
Bishop Strong School?
Yeah, I have heard of that. But that's because your mother's Catholic. But, well, Chinese Catholic.
No, no.
Like I went to the public art school, 40% of my high school was Jewish, you know.
Yeah.
We have boys and girls mixed together with
What high
us.
school did you go to?
Thornhill Secondary.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't even have a dress code. Like,
Yeah.
so different, yeah.
That's not how I went to high school. Well,
Yeah, of
no
course.
dress code.
Yeah, no dress
So
code.
he knows what to do.
Well, actually, you're not allowed to wear like spaghetti straps.
We were.
Really?
Yeah, we still are, yeah. Yeah. Because what they do in Toronto, Toronto District School Board doesn't even have a dress code. You can sexualize as much as you want. They will allow you into class. Knowing that when you have the no rule, everyone turns to frumpy anyway. Because they know that when you create these little rules, people try to push the buttons. So when you say to the student, like, Toronto District School Board, you can be 14 years old in grade 9, you can wear a spaghetti strap and you can hype the shit up as much as you want. You can sexualize as much as you want. They're going to say that that's her empowerment, and if someone has an issue with her, that's their problem, and they have a problem with the other people, knowing that the girl that's wearing the spaghetti straps will eventually drop it, because eventually everything becomes frumpy when you have no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's Toronto's approach.
yeah, that's good.
I can show you. I can show you that too. After the haircut, I'll show you that on the Toronto District School Board dress code policy. You just Google that. It comes up the news reports. That's their policy. Yeah, you go to high school in Toronto, you can sexualize as much as you want, knowing that they turn to frumpy anyway.
Right.
And this country's all about the little rules, which means you could have a nation of breaking rules, like pushing rules or pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
Where we're like, and by the time we get to university, our universities are more academic based, because here it's about you turn 18 and all of a sudden the rules are gone and they push, they're like, oh my god, like they exhale for the first time of their life. Whereas ours, when they get to university, they never had the rules to begin with.
Right.
So it's more academic. Like our first year of university, it's different because we got rid of year 13 in Canada. So we started university at 17, right? Like you went to Dalhousie.
Yeah.
And then so
No, I started at 18.
yeah, but drinking age in Nova Scotia is 18, but drinking age in Toronto is 19. So that means you're not even until third year university until you're allowed to drink in
It's
Toronto.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but you notice when you went to Dalhousie, a lot of people from Toronto go to Dalhousie?
Right.
That's because the drinking age there is 18. So they want to,
That's sad.
that's it. And that's why you said earlier, like, Dalhousie is a bit of, like I said, Queens, McGill, Dalhousie. But Dalhousie's where you go when you're from Toronto because you want to party.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
want to get away from your step-up parents.
Yeah.
Like society that you don't want to be in. But
Yeah.
also it's cool in Toronto. I don't know. There's different pockets. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Cool.
A lot of my friends are from Etobicoke.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a place.
That's a place.
Yeah, that's a place.
Wait, so this is edited. I can drink my
Yeah, no, of course. We'll just edit that part out. Because it becomes a bloop.
Yeah, just like a.
You should actually add this part because
I know, I actually do. I do want to have a bit of beer drinking in it. Like,
TikTokers would love it.
yeah. Oh, dick. Hair's coming off. We're gonna need a beer.
Barbershop.
Barbershop. The guy with the beard and the four that's cutting your hair. I love that too, because unlike the last thing you expect for image-wise, that looks like
No,
a
it's
hairdresser.
so true. It's
I know.
like, we're at the barbershop.
We're at the barbershop. We're doing the barbershop cut. I'm like, I should be able to do some hazards or some shit like that.
Seriously. There's a barbershop near my apartment, and people hang out there all
Yeah,
day.
where's your apartment?
Near Te Papa.
Oh, I don't know.
You know the Green Parrot? Where the Green Parrot is, the restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
I'm next
What's
to
the
that.
barber shop that's near there?
It's next door to the Green Parrot.
What's it called?
I
The
don't know.
barber shop.
I have no idea.
The Midnight Barber.
This is just a barber.
Barber. We should get you a haircut in a barber shop one day.
No.
Life experience, life goals.
Yeah.
Barber shop haircut.
Give him another try.
Not.
That's not on my bucket list.
No. Oh, you see how tangled you are? Yeah, that's kind of.
I hate long hair.
Do you?
Yeah.
It looks good. Do you
Yeah.
want a little ball?
No.
You want a little pixie?
No.
Oh, it's just the haircut we said, yeah, okay. I'm just checking.
I know you want me to have pixie. No.
No, I don't want to have a pixie.
No.
I want you to have the haircut we talked about. I don't want shorter than that. Or not today anyway. Down the road we'll talk about it. But for today, yeah, no, the haircut we talked about, that's what you're getting.
That's what I want.
That's what I want too.
Cool.
And you're gonna center part it.
Yeah, I've never had a center part.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that, but I always side-eye.
Didn't know my hair could go that way.
Yeah.
Sit day straightening.
So I bought this chair from the barber because I thought it would be fun to be a novelty thing. I was gonna put it in the corner for a laugh. But I did a haircut in it because it's taller than the other chairs. Those chairs are much lower. So I decided because of ergonomics, I like cutting hair in it. And then I also like that girls sit in a barber chair because you never get that chance. This is not a barber shop.
Why don't we get to sit in barber chairs though? 'Cause
I don't know. And now we're at the age of gender fluid, like we just talked about. Like, why not fucking have a barber chair in a hair salon and girls can see all the other. Like when you sit in it, don't you feel like mafioso?
I don't even notice.
No, but it's comfortable though. But I was like,
mafioso.
yeah, like you want to sit in a chair like this and smoke cigars and yell at cousin Vinny. Where the fuck is Vinny? Get me Vinny! Where's Vinny? Get me Vinny down here! Smoking cigarettes, smoking cigars.
Oh yeah.
Where the fuck is Vinny? Get Vinny down here! Get that fucking Vinny! I keep telling him.
So true. My partner is obsessed with getting his hair cut because he loves the experience.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Loves the barbershop.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a barber hairdresser, but I like the novelty of a barber chair at the moment. And the cape. When I got the chair, I was like, oh my god, I bought the white stripy cape. We're like, yeah, let's do some nice optics. It's all about optics.
I don't know, this is barbershop vibes, the whole place.
Sure. Well, no, it's not a barber though, it's a hairdresser.
But what's the difference? Just because it's girls?
No, the training and everything. Like, we're qualified hairdressers, and barbers are qualified differently.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, but we're not a barbershop, we're an urban space. Like, this is an urban salon.
Okay.
And we're rule breakers.
Okay.
All different cutting techniques.
Okay.
Yeah, barbers are, because Gallus was barber qualified.
Different cutting techniques.
And now we're taking Gallus outside the box.
Certain hairstyles you specialize in as a barber, hairdressers are a little more versatile.
Oh,
So
okay.
like barbers will be really, really, really good at like 3D cuts.
Oh, gotcha.
And and hairdressers.
And barbers are trained in a year, and hairdressers tend to take 5 years to come of age.
Oh.
And barbers don't do color or
No.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
No.
That photo looks heaps like scale.
I just like to have this chair, like I call it the mafia chair.
It's great.
I like that girls get to sit in a chair like this because they've never done it before.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah, and also we're at this place. This space. We're way outside the box. So like, there's lots of really pretty hair salons around town, but we're not that. We're urban.
Yeah.
We're cool. And also my background too. Like I did hair downtown Toronto all my life. So I moved here.
Yeah.
Of course.
That is really funny.
I can't. I won't fit in here, so I have to do something completely different.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cut half the length off in the
Okay.
back. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
This guy who's like really familiar to me. And
Fun.
What's this lever over here?
That over there.
Yeah.
For when they do the shaves.
Oh, so you back it up. Back it up.
What you do is you go like this.
I just don't.
And you know how long I bought this chair. It took me a week to figure out how that worked. I'm like, what does this do? I'm like, I don't get it. But what you do is you do this.
Okay.
It took me a week to. I was about to call him and say, that lever's broken. It was never broken because I'm not a barber.
Okay.
I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. No, it's when they do. I don't know. I don't do shaves. I don't know. So I'm just like, doesn't work. But then eventually I figured it out. But you have to throw your weight into it. It's how they tilt them back to do the shaving stuff.
Yeah.
So funny.
That is funny. Very different.
Yeah.
We kind of not.
And there's also things on the side too, like there's hooks and stuff. But that's where you would picture towels and things for shaves, or your leather strapping or whatever, because they have. It's so different what they do. I'm just all about stick a girl in a barber chair with a barber cape and give her a cool haircut.
Yeah.
Because it's about different optics, right?
Yeah.
Reinventing things.
Oh, it's so gross.
Have you ever listened to that YouTube, like with your earphones in, and it's the barber?
No, but I can imagine, because that's all the same sensory thing.
Did you? But have you heard about that?
No, yeah, but there's I haven't heard about that specifically. But there's all kinds of things on. This is sensory things for people who can't
It's
sleep.
like you can hear the barber in your ear
Yeah.
this side and then he goes on the other side.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're getting a haircut.
Yep, that's the sensory thing. I've never actually done because I'm like after like spending hours in here for a week,
You're like, why
I
not?
want to go home and discover like experience that. No, that sounds like a nightmare to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I get that. It's all about like you can't sleep and you're on YouTube and you find these things to help you to sleep. And if that relaxes you, it wouldn't relax me. But if that relaxes you, yeah, of course.
I don't think that relaxes people. I think it.
Oh, I don't know.
Has anyone else ever done the YouTube barber thing where you like put your headphones in and it feels like you're getting a haircut?
Oh my god, no, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
weird.
I just said the same. Yeah.
Then you guys just, it sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's a sensory thing. I'm not. I couldn't do sensory, but also the way that my brain is, I'm too like go 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 kind of thing. Like relax and so and.
It's not relaxing.
No.
It feels like someone's gonna chop your head off.
To me, and it would be an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, really, I can't sleep now. That just creeps the hell out of me.
Listen to ASMR.
Yeah,
It gives me really bad anxiety.
yeah. What do I sleep to? I fall asleep to Making a Murderer.
That's not okay.
Documentary. No, it's a documentary. Because they're like
Oh, yeah.
drawing out, like, it's in Milwaukee. No, it's in, not Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's in, like, this most remote place in Wisconsin. And they're all like, and you watch this and you're like, how could you? Like, I don't know if he's innocent or guilty or not.
I still don't know.
I just think, like, really though? Like, really though? Like, why do you get off of the murder and you move back to the place where they're gonna get, if they don't want to pay you the $30 million, they're gonna set you up for sure. He should have just, when he was innocent from the first time around.
When he got out of jail and like.
Yeah, the first time around,
Yeah.
he should have just gone to that state. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty. I don't care. His mistake was he never left the state. The moment that he got freed from jail the first time, he never should have moved back. He should have left that state then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, whether he's guilty or not of the second one, I don't know. I don't care. You're just stupid because you moved back home.
Yeah.
Anyhow, and a lot of this stuff too, and both sides of it, I'm just like, really? And they said this, and I'm like, really?
Do you like true crime?
Yeah, I
shows and
go down.
stuff?
Oh, I go down that rabbit hole a lot.
I go down that rabbit hole and then I actually get scared. I'm like, why have I watched this? I'm scared.
Yeah, no, I do all the time. Yeah, like YouTube recommends. I go down that rabbit hole. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
You can't do that to yourself.
No, that's North American culture. Like you get.
I think it's anywhere.
Yeah, no, well, true, but yeah. And a lot of times you're like,
I'm talking
how can you be so
now, but he's
stupid?
still in the room.
Like people.
Oh, it's in general.
Like people being stupid about your actions.
Yeah, but how can you lose your shit so much and just screw up your life like that over petty things? Like the pregnant woman that was angry at her fiance and she shoved him out of the window of the apartment. Did you ever see that one? Oh, now she's pregnant and well, they were actually just recently married. Well, now she committed suicide in prison.
Oh my
And she just
god.
did that anger push. And he smashed through the window and he fell to his death. She didn't mean to kill him. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's like, how can you hate each other or be that angry dynamic so much? I get it. When you have relationships that you want to kill each other so much, because the sex is so good after. But
I don't know about that.
no, I know. No, I just like people go down these webs, and I'm like, I don't know. Whatever. So anyhow, yeah. So many late nights, YouTube, you can't sleep, and you go down the rabbit hole, and you watch this stuff, and you're like, really? Chill out, people.
No, not 5.
It makes you feel better about your life.
Oh yeah, that's probably what I do too. Well, my life is so busy that while I've always had a problem falling asleep, even as a child.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't have YouTube back then. But also, I was the kid when I was like 11 or 12 and I couldn't sleep, so I got up. I was discovering David Letterman in the early 80s, like as a kid, because I get up and put it on because I couldn't sleep. So then I'm going to school, I'm probably 12 years old, and doing David Letterman jokes.
Oh yeah.
But nobody in the school ever heard of David Letterman, and I did. And also in Toronto, we had a TV thing before there was MTV called City Limits. So what would happen when the TV stations would sign off for the night? It goes through that for the rest of the night. Except for City TV in Toronto, they would broadcast City Limits, which was for that whole rest of the night when the network shut down,
Yeah, sure.
make music videos. And I discovered so much of my music in the early 80s on my insomniac nights as a child. Like I'm like 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't know what to do with me, so they just let it happen. So
You've always like grown up going to bed with TV.
Yeah.
no, because I would fall asleep, but I'd get up.
Yeah.
And then I'd be up in the night. And then I'd fall asleep again.
My sister has to go to bed with the TV on because she's grown up like that.
Oh no! I later on, like in high school,
Yeah.
thank God for headphones because I would always have to put music on to fall asleep. Yeah, I went to that phase as well. But before high school, because I didn't have like a music player in my room or anything, because you know you're just
He's like
a kid in the early '80s, I would
I mean that in the
eventually fall asleep, but wake up, put the TV on, and then go back to sleep eventually. That was most of my nights,
Yeah.
and I'd get away with it because your parents would sleep anyway. If they got up, you're like, "Why are you up?" You're like,
Can't sleep.
"Can't sleep." But they wouldn't be so angry at you. Like, what are they gonna do? You know? I'm watching David Letterman. Like I knew David Letterman, Paul. I'm like 12 years old, the early 80s. I'm watching David Letterman, Paul Schaefer, and who's the guest tonight? Cher. Cher's like, Dave, you're such an asshole. And I saw that stuff when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god. So what's the last thing I had to do before I moved to New Zealand? I bought the flights from Toronto to New York to watch David Letterman and then to Wellington. Because got to go see him live. Because I knew when I moved to Wellington, he was going to retire and I wasn't going to see it. So I got to see David Letterman before moving to New Zealand because I knew when I moved here he was going to retire. I had to see him before I moved to New Zealand. And that night, his guest was Regis Philbin. And they spent the whole night talking with each other. I was like, what a great way to see David Letterman live. A whole hour with him and Regis before I moved to New Zealand. What a way, and from watching him since I was 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Regis is gone.
Oh yeah, Regis is gone too. But those guys were like, and that hour, because Regis was about to retire at that time.
Yeah.
So basically that was his retirement. Last circuit of his retirement. And then David Letterman a few years after that announced his retirement. When he announced his retirement, I was like, knew it was coming. Thank God I saw him. And so glad I saw him with Regis.
Yeah.
Like that was how we ended up at. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then also while I was there, because you're there to see David Letterman was the primary way you went to New York, but then you do other things. So I saw the Broadway play. I saw Billy Elliot on Broadway, the musical.
Oh,
That was good too.
Yeah,
That was so good too.
musical.
Yeah, I love that.
Still never been to Broadway. That's
No?
on my bucket list.
Yeah, I do like New York City. New York's gone bankrupt though, so it has to rebound. But New York was bankrupt in the late 70s as well, and it rebounded into other things. So every city in the world is constantly evolving, and New York is doing that currently too, and it'll come back different. But the architect will survive.
Did it go bankrupt because of COVID?
Yeah, because all the retail abandoned. And restaurants and things like that.
Yeah.
But it'll come and nightclubs, because when your lease is astronomical and you have to close for a few months.
yeah.
Like imagine this. Imagine your lease is $50,000 a month. 50, 100, 150, 200. How many months can you run in lockdown or restriction? Pretty much 50, 100, 2 months you're just throwing in the towel.
And it's even office buildings. Like they
Yes.
can't support it.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, everyone work from home. We don't even need to lease these office buildings anymore.
Yes.
And they're losing all that money.
Like if your lease is $50,000 a month or more, if you're shut down for 3 weeks, you're done.
Yeah.
Forget it. You need the income coming in hardcore, otherwise you're throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
That's why New York was bankrupt quickly. Now me, we were closed for 48 days, but I don't pay New York lease. And I had, I had money put away and things like that, and we got through it. But if this hair salon was in Toronto, I would have closed. 48 days would have killed us.
Even with the government subsidy?
Oh, even then, that's just a pittance. That's a pittance. Yeah. So if I was the salon, I would have been working back home in Toronto. They were closed within a month and a half because the lease there was I think it was a $30,000 a month lease. They were gone in a month and a half. They're not cutting hair.
That's sad.
It's gone. Yeah. But we're Wellington rates, not New York rates or Toronto rates. We're not that.
Yeah.
So it's manageable. And also New Zealand did really well coming back. So you did I did have my losses, but then over time we made it back.
That's good.
Because we never had a second lockdown or restrictions. roast beef.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the other
Appreciate
rest of the
being
world is
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through.
No, I really appreciate being here.
I
Yeah.
don't really interact with all of the system myself. I'm more just there. Because it's kind of still like being the same person all of the time. So we just cheat together a lot inside. But also, if he's not in and I'm not in, it kind of mixes up because sports hasn't actually been out lately. Because sports been trying to sort
Yeah, imagine Atlanta didn't do so badly because they didn't go so heavy with restrictions.
chaos and void.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're closed for a few weeks. Oh, no, that's enough. Open up again.
They just, I guess they're like, the economy.
Yeah, economy comes first.
Yeah.
COVID comes second. No, the other joke I made about it is in America, safety always comes third.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just bring your gun with you.
Open up, make some money, safety comes third. Oh yeah, just bring a gun with you. And Kiwis really don't get that. They're like, they'll call them stupid. I'm like, no, they're not stupid. They're just not afraid.
They're just a different whole culture.
Different culture.
It's like our whole country was pretty much started on guns.
Yeah, true.
Pretty messed up.
True. It's just different.
But yeah, Georgia barely had any restrictions.
No. No.
I think Hadrian was telling me about this because I was
It goes against the God-given rights.
I know all of the Karen videos on YouTube
Oh,
of them
so
not
fun.
wanting to, of like demanding going into a store without
You have to wear a mask in the store, and it was the fucking shit. Oh my god, that's the God-given right mentality though.
Yeah.
Because God-given right is not an American right. It's just your perception goes beyond constitutional rights. That's God-given right. And no country in the world says the term God-given rights. No one in New Zealand, no one in Canada, no one in Europe, but that's very much an American term. God-given rights.
Yeah, we're
Which is fine. I don't knock the culture. It's just like we said, differences in culture.
Yeah.
As long as they don't criticize the Kiwi way, because
family is
really, if your country's this and this country's this, let's not point fingers at each other's countries, because that's just
I know that
everyone does a different way about it and respect it.
Yeah.
And America's actually pretty good about that. Some people think that, telling other countries what to do. Yeah, sometimes. But for the most part, like Americans who come here, I always have a good vibe with them. They're like, they love New Zealand, they appreciate, they don't want to tell New Zealand to do anything different. You know?
Yeah.
They like their time here, they appreciate it, they go back and say, oh, it was so fun, it was great. Also, like I said, like I spent a lot of time traveling on the South. Everyone's always welcoming. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh my god, it's the best ever.
They're so
Differences
nice.
aside, they just welcome you, backyard party, barbecue on a Sunday, and once you get drinking the beers, and generally interested in you and who you are and all that stuff. And that's the hospitality that I really love about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And once you ignore what's on Fox News or CNN or whatever, and you road trip across America, that's when you see the people, and the people are actually really amazing. And anyone's never been there, that's because they see what they see on Fox or CNN. And their perception of it is all skewed. You have to go there and experience it.
Yeah,
It's never what you think.
definitely.
Yeah.
I can't believe you went there when you were 18.
Yeah, we
wanted
got in
to
the
go.
car. Literally, last day of high school, got in the car, drove straight to Myrtle Beach. And then we would do the whole region, but Myrtle Beach would become our base. Yep. And I loved it. I got so many pictures. I'll show you before you go. I'll show you pictures from that trip. Because I had them all. And then we drive back through Shenandoah Park. Like all these different places in the South is so fun.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Shenandoah? Gorgeous. Virginia? Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've probably been to more of the South than you have.
Probably.
I love it. Except Florida. Never been to Florida.
You just have a hate for them.
No, it's a joke. It's gonna be a lifelong joke. Never go to Florida.
Never go.
No. It's like, welcome to Florida. The other way. Gotta turn around. Here's the sign. Turn around, go the other way. Oh, phew, that was close.
So close.
So close.
It's not the real South.
No, it's not. It gets all weird. But you know when I look at like documentaries from the past, Like the way when you look at Florida in the early to mid 60s before major development, those guys were cool. But the issue is that modern Florida is over commercialized. So you got the traditional Florida, which has been suppressed by development, and it's a place that's so evolving so quickly you can't keep up. And then the trash comes in with it.
I just feel like everyone flocks there who
wants
to get away.
I know.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the,
Population boom, development boom. But when you look at old documentaries of Florida, like in the early, from up to the early 60s, yeah, it was an awesome place. I would have loved it then. They filled in the swamps, put up a parking lot. They filled in the swamps, put in a parking lot.
It's like Disney is on a
Yeah, like Disney. They filled on a swampland and built that.
Sorry, yeah.
That's right.
They don't talk often, this sort of thing.
Hello, we're running a bit late. Is there something else?
No, I corrected myself. I said running. My phone does a stupid sort of. It still corrects XX. So, okay. So I'll send somebody a nice message for XX at the end and it just says okay, and they're like, oh.
Oh, I was just like, hey, I'm watching the new Headmates today, is that okay? And he's like, that's fine, I don't know who they are. Did we tell you about the new Oakland Stadium?
Oh my god.
She comes out and she's like, what is this? She's like, who the fuck am I? I didn't know this place was real. I'm like, obviously, I was just like, wait, why wasn't rain there? And then I can't remember. And me and Bernie had to talk her through, like, yes, we want to go back, that's fine, you just have to wait it out, you can do it in a minute. Yeah, you can. She's like,
You can see where the tangles begin, and that's the length we're cutting it to. So it's like, sorry darling, we're going to have to amputate. It's right there. No, that's exactly where we're cutting off. That's where the tangles are really beginning.
Yeah.
That's where it's going. And then once I layer it all up and we do the framing in the front.
boom, boom.
It's a woman's haircut. You're getting a woman's haircut.
That's. You can't say that.
What, you can't say woman's haircut?
No.
Right. What are your pronouns?
Yes, your house was
Does it not?
It's a feminine haircut.
It's a woman's haircut. Like in the late 70s, they were women.
They were women.
We're doing a late 70s haircut, therefore this is a woman's haircut. Maybe not today. There's pronouns. They did not pronouns in the late 70s. It's like, I'm a woman. I have a look. What's your look? Chocolate love. Yeah, you're sort of black woman.
Chocolate love.
Chocolate love. It's from the movie Boogie Nights.
When did that come out?
Oh, like 1998. It's so good. Yeah, because her boy, there was a black couple, and he was like dressing up like a cowboy. So this movie takes place in the 70s. She's like, you need a look. I have a look. She's like, oh cowboy, that's not a look. He's like, you need a look. She goes, I have a look. What's your look? She goes, chocolate love. Love that shit. So that were women. Like I said, late 70s, that was woman. Women would say shit like that. Chocolate love.
I always forget about Alex because Alex and Brayden are like the same person to me because for so long they were the same person.
So where you want to go, bridge of the nose, or you want to go way up? Stress.
I don't know.
You don't care.
I do care, but.
Drinking at work is much.
Where do I want to go?
My hair, yeah, where do you want to go?
I'm on the fence there, or a little either there or there. Do you want to flip a coin? Can we determine you like to do the coin flip?
Why don't we do. Yeah?
No, let's do it with the coin flip. I know we could do it here and then go there, or let's flip a coin.
Okay.
Let's do it with the coin flip.
Is this what you do on the red?
That's something new. So what are we going to do? We're going to do heads there, tails shorter.
She's a protector.
Wait,
I mean,
okay.
So heads is going to be bridge of the nose, tails is going to be up further.
all the time.
We're trying to sort some stuff out.
Tails shorter. No, it'll be amazing.
Okay.
It's still going to go over all the same, but it's just going to be shorter.
Yeah. I mean, it'll grow.
No, wait, maybe you don't want it to grow. Maybe you come up for a haircut every few weeks because you love it so much. So instead of there, we go up there.
There's a couple of times where I've
But we'll do longish. We're not going to cut it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Like Katy Perry bangs, nah. They look cool, but.
Oh no, I love her bangs, but she's got a bob.
But she has those really really short ones. You know how some people
I
have
know.
that? That's kind of like pinup girl.
Yeah, I know, but also, but her hair's bob. That's why it works so well on her.
Oh, okay.
But we're not doing her hair. We're doing like 70s.
Yeah.
But I get in the defensive and I'm fighting. I will say the most hurtful shit.
Yeah.
I'm horrible.
But in their case, they just disappear.
Yeah, it's really, and then afterwards the guilt. Sorry, is this too much?
No.
Okay.
I'm just relating.
Just the guilt was just incredibly horrible because you know you've done. Well, I know I've done these horrible
good.
things. And it was me. It was me.
Yeah, they could
And
all
now I have
coin
to
effects.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do it often.
Deeply focused.
It's not like it's that much of a difference.
Well, paying customers don't get coin flips. They tell me what they want because they're paying.
That's very true.
This is art. This is after hours
This is-
art.
This is art.
After hours art.
And like as long as
The coin
I'm
flip
good and I
becomes a
don't
thing.
want them out of my life for whatever reason, everything's fine. But as soon as like
Yo, how do you like train for? Do you train on doll
they don't
heads?
have things like control or whatever.
Training humans.
Because like
They can. No, they do have them, but that's like hair school style.
Because like I hate letting people down, and so when someone goes,
Do you not go to hair
then I
school?
go, "Ah!"
You just kind of learn.
Oh
what you
no,
know.
you know I'm one of the ones who dropped out of hair school. Because,
You're so good with me.
It's the same as film school. Like great directors
Yeah.
didn't go to film school,
Yeah.
and the ones who ace film school become assistant directors.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how. Yeah. I kind of.
And a lot of, and same with hair, and same with chefs. Like really,
Yeah.
if you really excelled in culinary school, you're not gonna be a great chef.
It's more like apprenticeships, like where you work and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you can become a qualified hairdresser just through experience all the same. Now, when I went to hair school, it was 1,500 hours to graduate. I was gone at 400 hours. It's a waste of time. But I was offered a job, and I did it through experience, not through training. And then the ones who did it through training, all the people that when I started hair school that graduated from that hair school are not great hairdressers. And then what happens, like you're like, I can't do this. Because your path is a different path.
Yeah, I know.
I got to stab myself in the eye. But later on, I did advanced training through Aveda Academy. So because it's where you start as hair school, you can't do it. But then you have a salon owner who's like, I get it, just come work here and get the experience. And as you're building experience, you're like, they pay for your advanced training through either Aveda Student Academy or an Aveda Academy. For me, it was an Aveda Academy. So you do still get continuous training, just at a different level.
Right.
So that's how I did things. Everyone's experience is different. Some people are happy to graduate from hair school and then work in a model. Like next, by appointment, no appointments, walk-ins, yeah, or whatever, yeah. And a lot of there's a lot of great hairdressers that don't get me wrong. Everyone's different. There's a lot of great hairdressers that maybe did well in hair school, the rest of it. But everyone's journey is different.
Yeah,
But in general, if you're really artistic, you're not going to survive in the structure of that kind of training. So you need to be a different path. But most around the world will recognize qualifications through experience.
Yeah.
In New Zealand as well, you can get a qualification through experience without doing all that proper training. So at least they recognize that here. So you're just showing when you do that process, you're showing your portfolio and your experience, the rest of it. So they take all that into consideration as well. At the end of the day, hair school or qualification or whatever, they just want you to pay them. And if you meet the criteria, then they'll give you the qualification.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everything in the hair industry is about money. To become a qualified hairdresser, if you do the hair school and you finish and graduate, that's about $15,000. If you drop out halfway through and you only gave them half the money, that's fine. Because what happens is years later when you go for the qualification, they send you another bill for that. It's like, send us all this, cool. Pay us this much, cool. Here's your qualification. At the end of the day, it's money. It's an industry like anything else. And the same with the culinary chefs or you name it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or let's say you became a chef without any training at all, but you're still going to spend a lot of money on like something, like a recognition or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like you enter, what's that, like the Michelin Award.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't go to a culinary school or anything ever, but you're going for the Michelin Award, that's an expense that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So, like, you won a Michelin Award and you never went to culinary school, but that journey is going to cost you as well.
Yeah.
So everything in the industry has a cost.
Nothing's free.
Nothing's free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Yeah, exactly. Nothing. No such thing as free lunch.
Oh wait, this is a free haircut.
Yeah, true. But you're working.
I'm working right
It's a
now.
job. Camera's rolling. You're acting. No, you're not acting. You're being yourself. Don't mind. Oh, it's a good deal.
It's just so strange to me that like,
It just works.
My phone's pretty much waterproof anyway.
oh, I love that.
No,
It's like I panic with iPhones because they're just such fragile creatures.
That literally reminds me of when I was working in Moscow back in Christchurch. I went to a table with some like latte cups or whatever, like glasses that had hot coffee. And one of their children hit my hand, so I spilled the coffee onto this guy's iPhone. And the wife got really mad at me, and the husband was like, "It's okay, we'll get together. It wasn't you." But I freaked out and thought I was going to get fired.
I almost took an entire gun of hot water shower once. And the dad was just like, fuck.
Sorry, I didn't want to burn your baby. It just happened.
I love that voice. I did the same.
Well,
The frustration. Yeah. I did the same voice.
Gotta modulate.
I love Daisy.
Hey, okay.
A crush.
I need my undercut back. But I don't want my undercut
I was going to say you're growing up.
I've adopted her. That kind of a crush. I adopted her.
Yeah.
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 lower.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, your long dry stuff has to
Where
go.
you're like, I have to wax my
That
hair.
tangled in. Yeah, no, that's fine. You comb through and it gets all like.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Long hair boys are hot.
Bye.
It's like long hair boys.
No, it's a good thing. It's a cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can do it. Such a fun haircut.
You're like,
It is.
You enjoying it?
For you and me.
Yeah, you're enjoying it too. Yeah.
I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
I hate long hair.
Yeah.
And I've never had bangs, so this is fun.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad we went shoulder with it.
Yeah.
my mistake. You look the same.
The coin toss could have been longer, and I probably would have said, "Fuck it, we're going shoulder anyway."
Really?
It was faked.
Yeah. Well, I think it was gonna go there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We would have tried and like, no, shoulder.
And I was like,
I think it was gonna end up here anyway. Like I said from that video we saw, you're getting one of those girls' haircuts.
Yep.
Yeah, that sea of women from the south, you're getting one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can't believe they all had the same haircut.
I know.
So funny.
So good. Like 30,000 people standing in the field watching Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah.
And all those girls have the same haircut. And the guys have longer hair than the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1977.
You want to see my magnum opus?
oh yeah.
What was the 80s haircuts then for the girls?
Some long and perms. And then when you saw
Perms,
short
that was
haircuts, because there was a lot of short haircuts too, it tended to be when you had short hair, you were cutting out a perm, you're chopping out a perm. Because there was lots of colors and perms and damage, and then you ended up with short hair to cut out the damage. And the haircuts were cool anyway. But you did have long hair, but they tend to be layered with fringes and puffy, with
yeah.
volume. So there was a combination thing of all kinds of different lengths. You'd have the long hair girls, you'd have the shoulder length kind of girls, colors and perms, and then all of a sudden you'd have a short hair girl. The short hair girl would be a couple of reasons why. They were cutting out chemical damage, or they had strict parents. Because parents back then were stricter than parents today. So, you know, you'd end up with these weird short haircuts because they were conservative. So there's a few different things that happen back then. Parents today don't force haircuts on their kids anymore like parents in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the
I
difference.
feel like it's more guys that are forced upon, you know?
Well, in New
boys
Zealand a
growing
little
up.
bit more, but not so much around the world. Even guys
The
are,
quarter past.
like, children have a lot more freedoms now than kids in the past.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, you're gonna get a haircut, you're gonna like it. And you would like march into a mall and sit down and cut the fringe here and this here. And you're sort of like, oh, so you get this haircut. And then after like, oh, it's like, no, first it starts with Kmart. Well, take it to Kmart and buy you a new outfit. And they bought you the cheap corduroy pants. You go boom, boom, boom. And then they bought you some crappy shirt, like a white polyester shirt with a tiger print. And she's like, oh, my little tiger. And then after like, let's get you a haircut. So you end up with this ridiculous haircut. White polyester shirt with a tiger, corduroy pants. You go to school on Monday morning and like, and you're like, oh, I hate Kmart. You grew up hating Kmart.
Is this flashbacks for you?
Not for me, I'm just making fun of it. And then even worse. So, okay, your hair grows in, it gets better, but your pants get a hole in the knees. So mom sews patches on the knees. So you grow out of them a little bit. So she sews extensions on the bottom. Because that's what it was like for kids back then.
Yeah.
Today, kids are all high fashion. But yeah, you got a pair of pants from like Kmart, And then there was a hole in these, she patched them. You grew out of them, and she put an extension. And also, because she's so crafty, none of the material matched. So you'd have like brown corduroys with blue patches and orange extensions.
Oh my God.
And then you had this, and then your haircut's going, and your mom's like, well, cut your little friend, snip, snip, snip. You go to school and you're like, hi guys, you want to hang out? Yeah, that's like haircuts back then. Late 70s, early 80s, you know. Like, but everyone had that, so it wasn't like it was awful. They make fun of you a little bit because you're going to make fun of them the next week because it was doing the circles.
Yeah.
Just different culture, different time.
No, but like
And then sometime in the 90s, kids became fashionable and parents became way back and cool. And then from there on, because now we're like 30 years since the 90s, parents today are so cool.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. But even me, like I'm raising kids, but I'm not raising kids like the way my parents raised us. But my parents were doing the best they could with what they had at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't fault them for it. But we're in a different time now. So I do things differently because we're in a different time. But then my parents had their parents, and then my parents were so much better. Well, not better, but
Better than
moderate. It was,
Yeah.
you know, it was different than what they went through. Then my kids are different than what I went through. And then my kids will grow up and have kids, and they'll be like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe your grandfather. He was like, I don't know what they'll say about me, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't see it now. I mean, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. Maybe they'll blame me for something. I'm like, I really didn't mean for that. You know, maybe not, or maybe like I died the best dad ever. If I go to the grave, the best dad ever, I die happy. But if they have kids and they're like, oh, your grandfather, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, that would never happen.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't want that to happen. I don't think we're gonna center part it. Your hair doesn't like it, but slightly off center, like there.
Okay.
Now you see the way the fringe
That
goes
seems
over.
center to me.
Yeah, no, I know, but it is slightly off center. Like center would be more so, but that's more natural on you.
Yeah.
But you see the way the fringe slightly goes over like that? Yeah. Now you see the way that's all vibing and everything? Yeah, that's very 70s, late 70s. Yeah. And the texture and everything through it.
I have a very kind of not flat head on the top. Can you tell?
Yeah. Like no.
It's like really.
You have a flat head on top?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. No, that's what they want you to shape of your head though.
Yeah, I'm really glad I'm not.
Were you a natural birth or were you a C-section kid?
I think I was natural.
Probably more likely because of your age. They were, this day and age, they like C-section pretty much everything. Oh, that's a little concerning. Let's do a C-section.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they C-section now more than ever. Both my kids were C-sections. Like, oh, that's not right. Let's do a C-section.
Really?
Yeah, because they used to more natural births back then than today, but now it's like far more C-sections than they probably should. So both my kids were C-section, which means they come out with properly shaped heads, but they never get to squeeze through, so they end up coming out with all those fluids on them because they're placed from here to here,
And
rather
why
than
is that
traveling
bad?
through the. There's things about it because when you pass through, a lot of that stuff is taken out of you naturally, rather than being wiped off with an unnatural towel and things like that.
Yeah.
So you will end up with a perfect shaped head because your head never had to travel through. Because what happens is squeeze through and it bounces back like it's supposed to, but it may not come. Like you may find that some people's heads are not perfect and there's things from here. A lot of that goes back to birth. But C-section kids will never have that. Because take it from here, put it over here. It's like, take it out, put it in a tray, weigh it, go slap it, weigh it, put the people, here's your baby. And also the crazy thing about C-sections is when they're planned. So you know the birth date of your child 2 weeks beforehand because they made an appointment.
That sounds better to me.
Yeah, I was fine with it too. But it's crazy when that happens. Like our first one was an emergency C-section. Our second one, because we had a C-section, became a planned C-section. So it's like 4 weeks before, it's like, oh, yep, we'll just book it for this day. We're like, cool.
Oh my god.
We knew it was a girl. We knew the date, the time. It's like,
Yeah.
come for 2 o'clock on Tuesday, June, and yeah, we showed up, and then about 45 minutes later, there's the baby. 2:45 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's the way. It's different. So since we're recreating like late 70s vibing, mousse
Ooh.
and hairspray, Because we use the products they used back then. We don't use modern products.
Okay.
And hair dryer and round brushes. Your hair is like
Wowzer.
yeah, your hair is like one of those hair types that are like wants to be straight. I'll try to like parafloss it as much as possible. Your hair likes to be straight.
Oh no.
But at least we'll get some volume and kick out of it. It'll look cool though. We'll get some texture and stuff. It'll be cool.
Cool.
It's so funny, eh? Yeah.
It smells nice.
I started resisting this one.
Bottom thing.
It literally is.
No, it is.
My natural reaction is to go towards the pool.
Yeah. It's a bottom thing.
Yeah. So. But I've literally never really, well, there's only a few people that, well, not a few people, but people have to actually know how to pull the amount of people think that they're dolls that just, oh my god.
I love the way it waves, the bangs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's the best part of that because your brain, it's not meant to sit forward, it's meant
like
to
a
come
curtain.
over, like a curtain pinch. But that's just shorter, because curtain pinch should be a little bit longer and going over. Yours is shorter, but it's doing the same effect. And then, yeah, like center would be more there. You're kind of off center, but going to center. That's just going over the air, which is more of a natural for your hair type. I'm on the fence if I want a blow dryer or not, just do natural. I'm going to do a blow dry because that's what they were done in the late 70s. They didn't do natural dries back then. But me, for the modern look on you, this haircut out of the natural dry is better.
I don't blow dry it.
Yeah, no, I know. But since we're replicating late 70s, we're going to blow dry because that's what they would have done back then.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a vented brush for the blow dry because that's more likely what they... Because there is the round brushes. They would have been tight round brushes like that or that back then. We tend to use the bigger ones today. But what we're going to use today is the vented brush, which they would have done back then too. And what they would have done is just try to make volume. Like, go in there like that. Lift. And like I said, it's all about, like it's 1978 and your mom took you to the mall for a haircut. We're trying to recreate that. With everything, from the cut to the blow dry, products, everything.
Vintage.
All around through and through. But I used to do hair makeup on film, and when we do historical film, we try to recreate that time as much as possible for authenticity, right? So this is what we're doing. We're just trying to recreate that time, including the chair, including the cape, and all the rest of it. All retro. And then that's why we go under like that. We're trying to lift up the brim. And your hair has a natural tone to triangles. Fine hair, that's fine.
Do you ever do wedding hairstyles and stuff? Or?
Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Only for my regular customers who are getting married,
Yeah.
or any of my staff who are getting married. But if someone called me up and asked for a wedding quote, or send me a thing for a wedding quote, I wouldn't. If they're not an existing customer, I wouldn't reply.
Yeah.
Nothing against weddings. But what's going on today, a lot of makeup artists now are training themselves to do hair to take the business away from the hairdressers. Because why show up to a wedding and just do makeup when you can do hair too and double your income, right?
Yeah.
And then and since a lot of hairdressers aren't really interested anyway, so a lot of makeup artists are offering that service now anyway. And you don't have to be a qualified trained hairdresser just to do wedding hair, right? There's nothing, in the laws that says, they can do that. So, in general, people planning weddings, the makeup artists will give them a package deal for the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to undercut us with the cost of the hair. Because you're going to do makeup and say, by the way, we'll do the hair for this much. And like, cool! So I don't have to call a hairdresser. So that's a lot of what's going on today. Which is fine with me. Because we can focus on what we have to do without... because put it this way, for what we make on a Saturday in here, what a wedding's going to pay me to do hair is not going to be this nowhere close to that. I can't afford to cover my Saturday loss. So it actually works fine.
Yeah.
But I will take a Saturday off for any of my regular clients that are getting married, and I'll tend to do the hair for free. It's my wedding gift to them.
Wow.
Because if you look at years of patronage and what they've been paying in the salon,
True.
so a lot of times I'm like, how much? I'm like, no, invite me to your wedding, I'll do your hair and your bridal party and the rest of it, and let's have a great night. So over the past few years, all the wedding parties I've done, where both staff have been married or clients have been married, they asked me for a quote, said, just give a donation to the Mental Health Foundation and let's have fun. Because they didn't even want the money. And honestly, I've been to some really amazing weddings over the past couple years and loved it. But my wedding gift, if you go to a wedding, it's a wedding gift, right? My gift is the hair.
True.
And I've known these people for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can get a makeup artist in, and I'm just coming in to do the hair. And the night's amazing. It's great. I'd rather that more than anything.
Yeah.
But beyond that, someone calls up and says, how much for bridal hair? I'm like, yeah, I don't know who they are. I'm not interested. Unless they're a regular paying customer. Absolutely for regular customer, I'd probably just do it for free. My wedding, it's a wedding gift. And be part of the night with them, enjoy it with them.
Yeah.
Because they can come in to me for years. Yeah, of course. My friend Lauren got married a couple of years ago. It's like one of the best weddings I've been to my life. And so I've known her for years.
Where was that?
Up in Porirua at Homestead. It was a great wedding. And yeah, of course, I did all the wedding party and everyone at the party. It was an awesome night. I loved it.
Very nice.
Totally 75.
Yeah. So much more volume.
Yeah. But with long hair, the weight weighs it down and that kills off the volume.
I have really thick hair as well.
Yeah, you do, and it wants to be dead straight. But less is more. Like the more you cut, less is more, right? The shorter it is, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. my mom got the biggest perm when she was younger. We had such flat hair.
Yeah. But that's your hair type too, because your hair's flat too.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever want a perm, let me know. If you want to replicate your mother.
I always did want curly hair when I was younger, but...
If you want a perm, let me know. We can do that next. But enjoy this site for a while.
Yeah.
But down the road, if you want a perm, let me know. Because I do perms as well.
Yeah.
There's a few on my webpage. But I always do like really cool perms. Not like dodgy gray perms.
Yeah.
I do really cool perms. And you can see that coming together on the sides. But for now, this haircut's amazing. Enjoy this for quite a while. And then down the road, doesn't matter, we can do anything down the road, but we'll do something else down the road.
Yeah.
Enjoy this for now.
He's in the video where reconstruction is.
No, that's good.
But he doesn't show us. He doesn't do anything.
That's a small little brush.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, me and Duff are gonna. Duff is trying to get me into.
Oh, you would be.
I just keep getting to go.
As soon as I meet Ian and that stuff, I was like, well, I
Still a
know.
lot of moisture in there.
Yeah, literally. I know I'm gonna love it. I'm just really need to be able to get it.
No, it's okay. I hate trying.
I don't hate it. I genuinely love it.
When you use a round brush, you go section by section, and you really get in there and dry things off. When you do the technique I just did, there'll be like little pockets where moisture is still trapped. But I like, because this is creating width at the root.
Yeah.
This is what I want. And I'm using the low heat, like we can do like, you know, like.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I want. I want to do this way. Just different techniques. This is what I want. There's no right or wrong. It's art. But women back then with this haircut would have put their head over in the bathroom and blow dried it upside down.
That's how I
and
do
then
mine.
flick it up.
Yeah.
And that's how they get to there. So because you're sitting in a chair, I'm just going to do this, which is the same. I'm lifting it at the root with a hairbrush. But at home, for you to recreate, you're just going to blow dry it upside down and then flick it up after.
Yeah.
So both methods work. I do this way because you're sitting comfortably in a chair.
Yeah.
But at home, for you to recreate, you're just going to blow dry your hair upside down. And mousse and hairspray if you want to recreate the past. Yeah, you got a lot of fine hair, so it takes a bit to get the moisture out of it.
Yeah.
But it's fun hair to cut. Thank you for letting me cut your hair.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so fun, eh?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Great volume.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me cut it.
Yeah. Let me know if you want me to do your hair on your wedding day. You've already got the quote.
I know. This is the most volume I've felt in a long time.
Good.
So quiet.
You still feel the tangle in those ends, but that's just your hair technique. You have fine hair, lots of it. Fun it tangles. It's just you're gonna be like on curves. But with it shorter than like it was before, it's more of those tangles kind of less, so it's just better manageable for you. Also, just awesome volume.
It seems like making more tea in it.
Wow.
Like it's just got a cup of tea.
That's quite funny.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. That must be why it's ended up. It's a good mug.
I think it's like 30 years old or something.
Really? Well, it's
Yeah,
clean.
that's not about as big as
And the other thing they used to do back then
Mm-hmm.
was this. They go.
Oh my god.
To get the hairspray right in there. To create that. You see the way that comes in there?
Yeah.
Because that's what they used to call it, feathering your hair. So that's the technique. And that's one of the ways they used to do it. And then you can go underneath with it. And then you can
Wow.
build it up with hairspray.
Insane.
Because that delivers the hairspray close to the root. That's why they do that.
I'm in the 70s.
Oh, totally. When this goes on whatever, the YouTubes or whatever, there's going to be a lot of women in their 60s and 70s like, oh, that's my old hair. That's how they used to do it.
Oh, no.
And then lots of young retro kids are like, oh, that's how they did it. Because if you have both, like it's going to be an audience that watches this stuff. So like, yeah, the old school like, that's my old hair. And the young school like, that's how they did it. Because a lot of the young people are trying to recreate that look today.
Yeah, I saw Pinterest videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's just following me around.
Yeah.
That's quite funny. He was telling me about it because when I'm
So much hairspray.
Yeah, but that's what they did. They used to actually carry it in a purse
Oh my
and pump it up all day long. But in high school back then, like my high school, we could smoke on school property. But same with them. They would have hairspray, go to the girls' room, smoke cigarettes and pump their hairspray in high school. Like they would smoke in school. Because I'm of the age that we were still allowed to smoke on high school property, but the rule was you had to be 14 years old to smoke.
Oh my god.
But that was coming to an end with my generation.
Yeah.
But 70s and 80s, oh yeah, smoking on school property is fine. The teachers had a smoking room, the students had a smoking area. And the rule is you had to be 14 years old to smoke. So different times, so yeah. And also because they didn't have smartphones and things like that, they had more time to spend on things like their hair, makeup, and wardrobe and stuff. There was bigger emphasis on that sort of things. And they looked older quicker back then. But today it's more like the next generation doesn't. But the other reason why people looked older quicker back then, they weren't so strict with drinking. Like if you looked old, you got into the bar.
Yeah.
So if you're 17 and you look 25, you got in the bar. Today, if you're 17 and you look 25, you're still not getting into the bar. So if you're 17, why would you try?
Yeah.
But when I was 17, I had long hair and a beard at 17, so I could get into the bar. And then, you had a hot girl in your high school, you'd both get into the bar together because they thought you were like in your 20s.
Yeah.
Because they weren't ID checking like they do now. So a lot of kids in high school back then looked older so they could get served. But if you're in high school today, you're trying to look older, doesn't matter, you're not getting served. So you might as well go emo. Or whatever, whatever.
Wow, I can't believe this. This is amazing.
That's fun.
Oh my gosh. It feels amazing.
That's so cool. Yeah. Love it.
I feel so sophisticated.
That is so cool. Yeah, we nailed it.
Nailed it.
So hot.
And that's fun. I know, it's so good. Yeah. What year would you say?
70s.
Yeah, 78. We were going for 78.
78.
Yeah. Well, the video we saw before was 77, but this is more like I would say 77, 78. Yeah, that time. Yeah, that's fun.
Gosh, when I moved
And
my hair,
feel
I'm
it.
like,
Did you run your fingers through it? Isn't that fun?
wow, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's amazing.
So let's do some aftershots. Let's have a hug.
If I'm not receiving
Hug.
anything that
Yes.
kind of doesn't go anywhere,
And we'll do some aftershots.
Okay.
Cool.
and so like that's kind of how I.
So, what do you think?
Absolutely amazing. The amount of volume I have now. Look at this.
It's a pretty small place as well. So.
How fabulous is this?
So much fun.
70s vibes,
Yep, but modern.
but modern.
Yep.
A new swing on things. Thank you so much for my haircut. I love it.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy. Come back. So you'll be back again?
Oh, definitely.
And we'll do more.
100%.
We'll do more. We'll keep changing it up. Sweet.
It's in the lounge. We don't spend a lot of time.
Awesome.